I'm James Spann. This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 19th of April. Going to feel like summertime this week across the state. We're talking highs up in the 80s, dew points up in the 60s. Going to be humid and muggy and some storms along the way. But today, the big outbreak will be northwest of here. All right, now look at here now. Monday, we got a very strong vortex digging down through the Red River region on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and we'll have to watch for that. That could be some active convection off to the west, and at some point that could move in here. There's Tuesday of next week, still broad troughing to the west, and the storms get closer. So, and then the following day, Wednesday the 27th, that could be a pretty active period, maybe for strong or severe storms. So we'll be watching developments out there toward the middle part of next week. Hey, this is April in Alabama, you know. This is when things like that do happen, and they often will happen. I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video for Wednesday, the 20th of April. Now, Monday of next week, here comes this new trough. We'll keep an eye on that thing. Down below that, looks like we stay dry Monday. But Tuesday, that thing is digging down into the south central states. It's not lifting up toward Canada, and that certainly is a problem. Here's a look at the surface low Tuesday, 992 millibars between Omaha and Des Moines. And obviously, severe weather could be a big issue there, just north and west of here. And it seems like that wants to move in here Tuesday night. And then Wednesday, the trough is progressive, and the storms kick out by midday Wednesday. And, you know, timing, this will change. It might be a daytime event Wednesday, might be Tuesday night. We just don't know yet. We don't know if it's going to be a linear type thing or a supercell type thing. Let's just get closer. This is Wednesday. This is like a week away from where we are today. But clearly a chance of severe weather Tuesday night or Wednesday of next week. I'm James Spann. This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Thursday, the 21st of April. Tornado season in Alabama. All right, Monday, boy, look at that negative tilt shortwave to the west. That looks like trouble. Surface low developing on the Texas-Oklahoma border, and that could certainly mean some severe weather issues to the southeast of that low, Arkansas, east Oklahoma, northeastern Texas. And Tuesday, the trough evolves out west. It's taking its time. Its energy still dives down the back of that. The lead surface low is moving up into the Great Lakes region, and active storms will likely continue just northwest of the state. And look at Wednesday. This latest run is much slower. It's still got the trough axis way back off to the west, and still the most active weather just west of here Wednesday at midday, with the new surface low developing near Monroe, Louisiana. And so this run is suggesting the main severe weather issue might come Wednesday or Wednesday night, in contrast to previous runs, which suggest it would be Tuesday night. And then Thursday, very strong trough rotating through here. The big batch of showers and storms begins to move out. So we'll just say it looks like another severe weather episode by the middle of next week, but exactly when and what modes of severe weather are most likely, just too early to answer yet. I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Friday, the 22nd of April, getting set to cruise into a warm weekend. In fact, the warmest so far this year, almost like summer. And a dry weekend, but next week, severe weather a possibility by midweek. And days 4 and 5, severe weather possibilities west of Alabama. And day 6, which is Wednesday, could be an issue here, as you'll see. Tuesday, that lead wave lifts up toward the Great Lakes, more energy diving down the backside of the mean trough out west, and down below that, still the worst of the weather. Could be a little west of here, but that is suggesting we could see some showers and storms in here by Tuesday afternoon. And if that's the case, this could be a pretty heavy rain event because the big system comes in Wednesday. So we'll certainly need to mention a chance of showers and storms as early as Tuesday, but look at Wednesday. That's a pretty good-looking severe weather setup for April in Alabama. Digging trough to the west, diffluent flow aloft, and surface low north of Memphis, 996 millibars. In fact, doesn't get more classic than that. That would suggest a chance of supercell storms Wednesday afternoon with the possibility of tornadoes, then a squall line Wednesday night. So At the moment, we're looking at all modes of severe weather with the target day being Wednesday, maybe lasting into Wednesday night.
This is the Weather Extreme video for Easter Sunday, April the 24th. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters, and day 3, that's when it gets into our area. And this is a change from yesterday because, of course, it appears the trough is a little bit stronger, and the end result is that it will come a little bit closer. And then the big day for us is likely to be on day 4, which is Wednesday into early Thursday morning. On Monday, we see kind of a double-barrel trough here. We've got the shortwave that's coming out of the Rockies over Oklahoma and the Texas Panhandle area, and then we've got a second, stronger shortwave coming in and a closed low coming in on the northwest coast. Now, what that means for us is that things, yes, do get a little bit closer. They get down into Arkansas and West Tennessee, so definitely closer. And is there a possibility that we'll see some isolated showers? Oh, absolutely. Now, what happens is the first shortwave moves on up into the Great Lakes. The second one dives in, and as the second one's diving in, it's going to be a little bit stronger, which means that it pushes things a little further to the south and east, or to the southeast. And the result is that we may see a threat of severe weather, especially across northwest quarter of the state of Alabama and into northern Mississippi on Tuesday. The trough really digs in, and this was shown on the GFS, but it appears to be a little bit stronger, the stronger amplitude to the short wave as it comes across Arkansas. And of course, that's going to be our big day because there's the surface low, develops actually in West Texas, moves to the vicinity of Memphis on Wednesday at midday. So we're looking at the possibility of severe weather watches and probably the possibility of tornado watches on Wednesday in the afternoon and evening hours. There's probably this sums it up the best. So I thought rather than showing a bunch of different charts that show the projected upper air chart for Wednesday, this is for Wednesday morning, but first of all, we have some pretty good wind shear, 30 knots at the ground and 50 not too far up. And we have some turning to the wind, so that indicates the possibility that we're going to have some pretty good helicity. And of course, the helicity value is around 700, which is substantial. And then we've got low moisture. We've got moisture low on the sounding, and then we've got drier aloft. That always helps to improve lift. And then in addition to that, Cape values are around 600, and I think by the afternoon, we're probably going to see values between 1,500 and 2,000 as a possibility. And hope that you have a wonderful Easter. Hey, James Spann should be back in the saddle once again on Monday morning, and we'll be all watching the events for Tuesday and Wednesday. Godspeed. Have a great weekend.
I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Extreme video for Monday, the 25th day of April. Severe weather not that far away. It looks like a major threat for much of the southern U.S. in coming days, especially Wednesday, but tomorrow could be active as well. Tomorrow, the risk slowly moves east, a moderate risk just clipping the northwestern corner of Alabama. It runs from near Shreveport up to Memphis and Muscle Shoals. That includes places like Little Rock, Memphis, Greenville, Mississippi, Monroe, Louisiana. And surrounding that, a slight risk running all the way from eastern Texas to the Great Lakes. And on day 3, we think this could be our big day. Moderate risk already. It's very rare to see moderate risks up on day 3, but they've got that thing up already for much of north and central Alabama through Tennessee and parts of eastern Kentucky. And look at the probabilities. You know the deal. That means there's almost a 50-50 chance of severe weather within 25 miles of a given point. And again, that is very significant. As everything seems to be coming together, we hope. It looks bad, but nothing happens. But, you know, something will. It's just a matter of when and who gets it. And, again, a lot of the specific questions we just can't answer now. Wednesday, this should be the big day. Very strong energy coming through the base of the trough. It's beginning to go slightly negative tilt, increasing the diffluence here. And down below that, the surface low is north of Memphis. Very favorable position for severe weather. And again, this is at 1 o'clock, and really much of the morning we should be dry with that cap, and at some point the cap should break in the afternoon, and that's when the storms could go tornadic, and again, we could see some long-track tornadoes possibly. This is the forecast sounding, and I know for a lot of you this is a bunch of gobbledygook, but look at those storm relative winds over there on the left. You talk about veering of the wind with altitude, and that's in relationship to the storms, and it's a classic loaded gun sounding. I mean, it doesn't get much more classic than that. There's a cap there, and we think that cap will break if we hit low to mid-80s. Wind fields are strong at the surface and aloft. The indices are very impressive. The lifted index is minus 4.2. Potential for supercells, 77.5%. The storm relative helicity values at 1 kilometer, almost 400. Again, I won't read all those off. You can see those, but everything seems to be on the board. Look at the photograph. I mean, everything seems to be in place for what could be a major severe weather outbreak Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. These are the instability values. This is Wednesday evening at 7 o'clock. The higher instability axis coming through West Alabama. Helicity values are just right for rotating updrafts and tornadic-type storms. And look at the energy helicity index, almost off the chart. So we will wait and watch and hope we get through unscathed, but certainly watches and warnings are very likely Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, and you know the deal. Just be in a position to hear them. No need to be alarmed or panicked about this. This is spring in Alabama. This kind of stuff happens, but everything is in place for this to be a potential red-letter day. I'm James Spann. This is the morning edition of the Weather Extreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 26th day of April. Getting set for a 2-day onslaught of severe weather across the state, and clearly tomorrow should be the day with the most serious threat. It's got a negative tilt trough to the west, producing all kind of active weather, mainly north and west of the state. And again, it's going to provide a 2-day severe weather threat to the state. And boy, clearly this thing yesterday was just deadly. There's a look at the storm reports from yesterday, and we had 38 reports of tornadoes in Texas, Arkansas, and western Tennessee, 251 reports of damaging wind, and 97 reports of large hail. The total reports there at 386. And a moderate risk today. The enhanced risk is from near Paris, Texas to Memphis. And again, that includes much of Arkansas and parts of the Mississippi Delta, and the probabilities within that moderate risk area are 45%. Basically, a 50-50 chance you'll have severe weather within 25 miles of any given point. And tomorrow, that enhanced risk is right on top of us. It runs from near Demopolis up to Lexington, Kentucky. And that includes the northern half of Alabama, much of Middle Tennessee, in parts of Kentucky, and same deal, a 45% probability of severe weather within 25 miles of any given point. And it could be one of these red letter days. And you know, again, a lot of this will be determined by mesoscale features we just don't know yet, whether it's going to be a red letter day or not, but certainly the potential is there. All right, tomorrow, this is when things could be pretty rough. This is at 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. The energy is coming to the base of the trough. It assumes a somewhat negative tilt. And the new surface low is north of Memphis. That is a very favorable area for severe weather in our state. And it's under 1,000 millibars, 996 millibars. You've got ongoing convection north of the state. And down here, the air should be pretty unstable. And initially, we think tomorrow morning will probably be quiet because of the capping inversion that kind of keeps a lid on things. But as we hit the convective temperature, then the cap should break and we'll see storms developing. And initially, they will probably be cellular, and those could produce those strong long-track tornadoes from North Alabama north into Tennessee, if Tennessee can destabilize, and that remains to be seen. There's the energy helicity index. This is at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, and those numbers are almost 7 units, and really anything over 1 or 2 is significant. That's almost off the chart. This is the STP, the significant tornado parameter, and this is valid at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And the tornado parameter values are maxed out from about, US 278 in North Alabama up into Kentucky. But remember, anything over, a 2 is very significant. You've got that all the way down to New Orleans. And it remains to be seen if the instability will be sufficient for that up in Tennessee. They might have a big rain mass tomorrow morning that kind of foul things up for them in terms of stabilization, which I say foul things up. It would be good for them, but it would foul up the convective development process. But whatever, clearly the chance of strong tornadoes is on the board. And the supercell composite index off the chart. For North Alabama and Tennessee, in very high numbers all across North Alabama. And the Craven-Brooks Index almost off the chart. And, we can sit here and show you these things over and over again. You don't see them like this that often. These are, a pretty rare setup here. So potential for a major severe weather outbreak tomorrow. We don't get caught up in hyperbole and, we're not trying to scare people at all. Maybe it won't be as bad as it all looks here, but clearly the players are on the board here for potential for a major tornado outbreak tomorrow and tomorrow night. Just be close to a good source of weather information. We think initially the main threat will begin tomorrow afternoon, anytime after the lunch hour. And it will wind down late tomorrow night, well past midnight. I say well past midnight, probably 1, 2 o'clock, something like that. I'm James Spann. This is the afternoon edition of the Weather Extreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 26th of April. A major severe weather event potentially across Alabama for the next 36 hours. A lot to talk about, many questions to answer, so let's see if we can knock them out. All right, the lead part of this trough that brought the severe convection to Arkansas last night is lifting up toward the Great Lakes. The next piece of energy is sliding into West Texas. And accordingly, things for the moment are quiet here. Those are temperatures at 2 o'clock. We've got mid to upper 70s for Anniston and Gadsden. Elsewhere, mostly low 80s, 81 for Birmingham and Tuscaloosa. Cooler back in northeast Alabama because of clouds. We'll check the current setup. These are instability values. Surface-based CAPE, convective available potential energy at mid-afternoon. And the numbers are way up there, almost like a summer day, up to 2,500 joules near Montgomery. And if you go to the west, how about a CAPE of 4,000 to 5,000 joules over Texas and Arkansas? Goodness gracious. That's a powder keg. There's a look at the helicity, and the numbers are not that high, and we don't expect any major tornado issues this afternoon or tonight. That comes tomorrow. But having said that, the helicity values are high north of here with that lead wave, and then also high back in Texas with the new energy coming in. And there's a look at the significant tornado parameter at 2 o'clock. The peak value is a 7. That is extremely high. Anything over a 2 is very significant. So we got that thing near 7 around Tyler, Texas. And also we note the STP is near 5, not too far from Nashville. And, of course, everybody will have to deal with severe weather across the southern states over the next 36 hours. There's the current watch warning situation. What a mess. And there's the new tornado watch. This is a PDS watch. PDS means particularly dangerous situation until 10 o'clock tonight. How about a high risk for northeast Texas, much of southern Arkansas, northwest Mississippi, west Tennessee, from Mount Pleasant, Texas to Memphis. Those are very rare. All right, tomorrow, a moderate risk, a very enhanced risk of severe weather from Mississippi and Alabama north to Ohio. The guys at SPC have expanded that enhanced risk farther north. And that, of course, includes most of our coverage area and on to the north. A slight risk all the way from Mobile, Gulf Shores, Panama City up to the Canadian border. And there's the probabilities. And again, 45% is the peak number within that moderate risk area, which means a 45% chance of severe weather within 25 miles of a given point. There's a projected sounding. This is for Tuscaloosa tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock, and it's the loaded gun type sounding, a classic severe weather look. And again, you can see the cat there. And also notice that the storm relative winds over there on the left. You talk about veering of the wind with altitude. Goodness. There's a look at the significant tornado parameter. This is valid at 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Numbers are almost off the chart. Running from eastern Mississippi up through northwest Alabama into Tennessee. And the supercell composite, same thing. Numbers are off the chart. And I could show you these all day. You know, we've looked at a lot of things. Clearly, synoptically speaking, everything is in place for a red letter severe weather day.
Potential for violent long-track tornadoes. But the mesoscale, the small-scale stuff, really determines the ultimate outcome, and that we won't know until tomorrow morning. When we just look at things, where are the boundaries? Where is it cloudy? Where's the cap stronger? So, again, we have to be ready for a major event, and just be ready. Get the warnings, know what to do, we'll be okay. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this afternoon. We'll have notes on the blog, running commentary and updates on the severe weather event, AlabamaWX.com. We will have the next video here tomorrow morning at 7, weather permitting, and I think we can crank one out then. And, of course, if you're local to us in Alabama, we invite you to watch us on television this evening. That's ABC 3340 in Birmingham at 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and God bless.